Welcome back one and all, my name is Eltimar, and we are going to be continuing our Let's Play of Torment Numenera, where we left off last time. We were in the Cliff's Edge district, just doing some stuff. I actually started doing this event, and I realized the recorder wasn't running, so I'm going to explain exactly what has happened. Nothing really. So we went and talked to Aiden Citabo, because I wanted to do the fight encounter with him. He said that you've returned. Eyes locked on the invisible enemy before him. I said, let's talk about that duel again. He replied, let's. As I said, this will be a fight to the death. No surrender, no mercy. He settles back into a half-crouch, fists raised. Are you ready? Yes. And then he replied, very well, let the challenge begin. He regards you with the serene eyes of a predator, chest rising and falling. A warm wind tumbles across the stones between you. He flows with it, spinning away from the ground. His foot slices towards your head in a blur. Time slows as if the universe is holding its breath. Coxswain kick. And then I did the initiative quick fingers thing called Fist of the Last Cast-Off. I succeeded. I lunged beneath his scything foot to slam my fist into his throat. He tumbles gracelessly to the ground, choking. Time resumes, flowing through you, and you feel some of Aiden's inhuman speed melding with your own reflexes. You have won, Aiden says when he has regained some of his breath. Finish it. I'm going to say, and rob this world of your talent? Never. I see, he says, lowering his head, troubled. Perhaps I should have shown my other opponents the same mercy. Instead, their talent is lost forever. He staggers back to his feet and resumes training. I don't usually go in for mercy, but he does seem like the type who only tries to kill you once. Are you going to be challenging everyone we meet to daring duels? Never mind. Don't tell me. I want to be surprised. He works so hard. If you killed him, all of his training would have been for nothing. So we got +1 speed permanently, which is pretty cool. We really need to rest. We're really low on our stat ability points.
Yes.
But I worry if I go to rest, someone else will die in the underbelly. But I don't think we have much of a choice. We don't have anything left. We have maybe a couple... Oh, Rin actually gained a level. Let's level up our healer to B. She can do effort or stats. We're going to go with effort. Oh, we went changing districts, so we'll have to redo that. Hopefully that doesn't bug out. Luckily there's an autosave, so we'll see. We're almost through most of our side quests. We really should start to get some of the main ones done. Sure.
Maybe I can do this.
You can definitely do it, Rin. I believe in you. Next level for her is going to be stat pools, of course. Let's go talk to our cult people and get them to watch over us as we take a nap.
I'll remember that.
Oh. You open your eyes to see the hooded face of Folsom's messenger. Her eyes are bleary and slightly dazed. It seems possible she hasn't slept since you last saw her. Another murder in Underbelly last night, she growls, while you were sleeping. She runs her fingers through her greasy hair. It was an intern Jack named Mantha Pa. Folsom wants to know if you've learned anything new. Wouldn't wait around if I were you. Grumbles and runs away. Okay, we're gonna go to the caravanserai now.
Here I come.
Which is this way. We have to go up to Government Square and then over. Our main character has the most stat points in our group by a huge amount. He has 27 total points, whereas Alagern has 15 total points, our warrior has 18 total points, and Rin has 11 total points.
Yes.
In fact, our main character has more than the sum of any two other characters combined. Well, the sum obviously means combined, so we'll leave it with that.
Done.
Let's go talk to Sangolin. He has a store, right? Yes. What does he have? Oh, right, armor. We have stuff to sell, like... Well, we won't sell the maul, because that thing's pretty cool, and we can give it to our other guy. We'll sell the crossbow. We'll sell the oddity. So... It's a medium weapon, actually. We should give that to our other character, the battle axe. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Ain't no one using a buzzer in our group. We'll keep the artifacts, and we'll keep that as well. Okay. We're also going to give this battle axe to I wanted to give it to Alagern. It's a medium weapon, and it's significantly better than his mace. Wrong. There we go. Now he's got a battle axe on his back. We're going to give this massive maul to our guy. 8 damage plus 7 chemical. Versus 12 damage. No, never mind. His axe is significantly better. The chemical damage is quite good. And we're off. We're going to the next area. This is a place we've never been before, the Caravanserai. Hopefully we'll be able to find the assassin pretty easily. If not, no, I guess we'll work on it.
Alright.
There's levies here. And some silver orphans. And some envoys. This spherical pod is made of a silver metal and interlaced with ribbons of energy. The synth panel lies flush with the ground. You can see no way to pry it open. Folding screens provide the illusion of privacy to room occupants, if not the real thing.
Yes.
What is this place? I want to poke the thing. Beside the bed is a handsome and well-made night table with a single drawer. A large open book sits on top of it. What's the book say? The pages of the book are made of thick vellum, and it appears to be an atlas of the region. The book is open to a map that depicts the city of Sage's Cliffs, Valley of the Dead Heroes nearby, a range of mountains to the north labeled as Osafagan Range, and a circular desert far to the east marked as the Lost Sea. A thin strip of fabric has been placed between the open pages. A second fabric strip marks another place in the book. Look for names of the settlements. Besides Sage's Cliffs, you see only a few other cities and towns. In the center of the circular desert are a large blue dot named the Oasis of Mra Jolios, and a smaller dot immediately next to it, Jeraboa. On the far side of the desert is another city, Haref. On one side of the Valley of Dead Heroes is a dot labeled the Necropolis. It's unclear whether this is a settlement or just a site of interest. How old's the book? The book doesn't seem new. Its pages are worn from frequent use, but that's all you can discern. It might be anywhere from 10 to 50 years old. No dates are stamped on any of the pages. Let's look up another page. You see another full-page map, this time representing the region called Agorkala. It appears to be located somewhere to the northwest of Sage's Cliffs and is defined by a massive ring of mountains labeled as the Clock of Kala. The mountain range is so perfectly round that it was almost certainly engineered by artificial means in the distant past. Several cities and towns dot the landscape, but the largest and most prominent is named Sada Imidu. After a few moments, you turn the page back to the Sage's Cliffs region. Let's look at the nightstand again then. Open the drawer. The drawer appears to be locked, but you can hear something rattling around inside. The noise is faint but constant, as if the object were alive. Who is our quick fingerer? Girl, you gotta start pulling your weight, so it's gonna be you. After a bit of effort, you hear a satisfying click and the drawer opens soundlessly. Inside, you find a small ornamental comb that looks like a jeweled insect. In fact, it is a jeweled insect, a biomechanical marvel that is very much alive. The pincers seek to fasten themselves upon locks of hair, and its wings allow it to hover above the wearer's head. Several strands of hair are still clutched in the comb's pincers. They are vibrant purple. Underneath this, you feel like you've seen this style of biomechanical craftsmanship before. It's very, very old. Probably older than the Ninth World. Fancy. Let's check the book one more time. I guess that's it. Okay, nothing else.
Trust and honesty are our bonds.
We'll talk to Tranquility, why not? Looks like she runs an inn. A woman as tall and graceful as a willow steps forward to greet you. She bows and looks down at you with warm, gold-flecked eyes. Welcome, she says, to Tranquility's Rest. I'm the proprietress. Tranquility, are you looking for a place to take your ease? As she speaks, a sense of delicious calm comes over you, and you find yourself wanting to agree with her. There's nothing you like better right now than the peace and solitude of a quiet room. You begin to wonder if the sense of peace that surrounds Tranquility has something to do with the way she speaks. Her voice is low and rich, and she appears to be modulating it in some way. The technique is subtle, but the effect is profound, calming you and making you feel a little sleepy. You're using the tone of your voice to calm me. Is that something you learned? She raises her eyebrow. Very few people notice that. Well done. I am indeed manipulating my voice. When I opened this place, I wanted to make it the most relaxing hostel in the Ninth World, and I worked to make every aspect of it soothing, even my voice. She smiles mysteriously. Another talent of mine has been helpful as well. Could you use your calming abilities to put me into a trance? She looks bemused. No one has ever asked me something like this before, and normally I would refuse for fear of some complication, and perhaps retaliation for that. but I sense a certain affinity between us, a kindness we share. I don't think any harm will come of it. If you feel it will help you, I will do it. She reaches out to you. Now take my hands and close your eyes. As you take her in her hands, the scent like baking bread and honey overwhelms you, and she begins to sing in a soft but resonant contralto. The melody fills your head, making it heavy with slumber so that your chin drops to your chest. You feel like you're being lowered gently into a warm bath. The water closes over your head, but there's no fear of drowning. You've returned to the womb, where all is comforting darkness and the steady pulse of a beating heart. Oh, cool. We get to go back to our world in a calm way. Let's see if anything's changed. Perhaps this is a different thing. You're looking, well, a lot more rested than you usually do. How do the other fathoms open? Sometimes you do in the real world create them. Okay. Anything changed? Look around. Anything changed? No. No. Okay, well, that's worth a shot.
Sure.
Okay, there's some envoys. There's a man or woman named Omaton? Omaton. This robed man turns a gold bespectacled gaze and winning smile on you. He seems a charming enough sort, but it's clear he wants something from you and is perfectly willing to take it. Politely and with absolute guile, of course. At last, he says, someone who looks like they can see further than their nose. These seguists are as observant as rocks. He clasps his hands together, pleading, please tell me you've seen a beautiful girl with purple hair. Her name is Persia. She is my beloved, and she suffers from a madness that causes her to fear everything. She can't stop running from imagined dangers. I've been chasing her for, years now, trying to catch her and cure her before she hurts herself.
Remember that.
I recently tracked her to Sage's Cliffs, but none of these blind fools can remember seeing her. He grips your arm. Let me give you a description so you'll know. She is heartbreakingly beautiful and wears the winged hair combs that float around her head, constantly changing the arrangement of her purple hair. Please, if you see her or hear word of her, return and tell me. My name is Omadan, and I can be most generous. Well, I found this comb.
I'll remember that.
Yes, that's one of her combs. Incredible. He takes it from you with great care. I knew that witch was lying to me. She told me that Persia had never stayed with her. Please, go to Tranquility and ask her where Persia went. Maybe she'll tell you the truth. How do you plan to cure her madness? With love mostly, but also with certain ancient techniques that I have learned in my years of studying for the cooling and untwisting of fever-knotted minds. I am positive that, once I'm able to isolate her from the corrupting distractions of the world, I will be able to restore her true self. What caused her to go mad in the first place? He frowns thoughtful. It is, I believe, some trauma associated with her birth or early life. We found that it could be overcome with love and care and certain medications, but even then some lapses occur. It was during the last of these that Persia vanished. I've been on her trail ever since. Okay. I don't know if I trust you, creepy man, but you know what? For now, I will give you the benefit of the doubt. I found a comb in one of your rooms and I showed it to Omadron. He is sure it belonged to Persia. She's been here, hasn't she? She purses her lips. Yes, I lied to Omadon, and I do not regret it, though I know you will judge me for it. Perhaps you'll understand when I tell you Persia's story.
I'll remember that.
Omadron may believe her to be his one true love, but it is obsession, not love, and it made a monster of him. He sighs. From what Persia told me, he found her corpse in a sepulchre in the Valley of the Dead Heroes, perfectly preserved by ancient science, and fell in love with her beauty. His foolishness might have ended there, except that Omadon had ancient science of his own, and he used it to wake her from death. He grunts and speaks softly in her ear. A fool with the power of a god. You wouldn't know anything about that sort of thing, would you, Cast Off? He seemed to think this unasked-for resurrection would make him a hero in her eyes, and that she would instantly fall in love with him, but she was unnerved by his fervor. She explained that she did not share his feelings. He wouldn't listen. He saw her disgust as a passing madness. Persia has fled from him ever since, but he is relentless. She looks up. Do you see now why I helped her? Why I lied to you? Yes, love can't be won through obligation. It must be given freely. It's a true story. She breathes a sigh of relief. I'm glad to hear you say that. What do you intend to do now? Can you put Omadon into a trance? It would give Persia more time to escape. Who's gonna be our talker today? Main character? Yes, he's the best at talking. 85% worked well.
Making a note.
She hesitates. It seems a dishonorable thing to do, but he is a dishonorable man, so perhaps he should be paid in kind. Very well, send him to me and I will do it. I can make him a guest in my inn for as long as need be. Where is Persia actually going? I'm sorry. The less people who know that, the better. Okay, fair enough. That's it. Let's go talk to him.
Learning.
Oh, Madon.
Yes.
Go and talk to Tranquility. She regrets lying to you and wants to apologize. She'll tell you the truth this time.
Making a note.
I knew she was lying. Thank you, friend. I'll go see her now. And if she thinks she's getting away with a mere apology, she's more fool than she looks. He's gonna be in a trance for a while.
All right.
Welcome back, friend. You have been missed. No, we're good. Is he good? Omadon stands at the entrance of Tranquility's hostel like a living statue, unmoving and staring glassy-eyed at nothing. He is lost in the world within his mind. Oh, Persia, he mutters. I cannot believe we are together at last. It's like a dream. So he is out of it. I'm actually okay with the way that turned out. I need more experience, damn it. We have some more cultists here.
Right.
A memorialist. Some Harefi merchants. Are you actual merchants or just... No, you're nobody's. Okay. I don't think. Yeah, no. There's a barkeeper. There's a bar down here. With a sylph. I kind of wanted a real
All right,
merchant.
Rin, you can do this.
Perhaps up here somewhere.
Let's go.
There's a laborer.
Yes.
There's a plant. These plants cling to the top of the wall, their roots hanging in the empty air. This means their means of obtaining nourishment eludes me. Driftwood held aloft by suspension platforms provide a useful, if somewhat perilous bridge between the dock and ships moored in the area.
Learning begets doing.
There's a guy named Master
Or is it the other
Renio
way?
here. And a guy named Tiber. We know Tiber, don't we? Pretty sure we know Tiber. As you pass a stack of cargo, a familiar figure sticks up from behind it, disguised entirely unconvincingly as an Aeon priest. Hello again, lad, says Tiber. I don't suppose you're ready to change your mind about letting me join you. Why are you hiding? Well, it seems Riss is still unhappy with me for leaving him on the gibbet for so long, and he wants to strangle me with my own entrails to show me how it felt. I, naturally, am less enthusiastic about the lesson, and would like to avoid it if possible. He takes a breath finally. Therefore, I was hoping I might join you. For protection. You see what I mean? Strength in numbers and all that. I'm good for now, thanks.
You bet.
We have Rin, and Rin's cool, I like her. Master Renio might be someone to talk to. The airship master is keeping a nervous eye on his vessel. He is a short and wiry man dressed in travel-stained but well-kept clothing. He is chewing on his impeccably groomed mustache in frustration. As you approach, he turns away from his vessel. Welcome to Master Renio's Aerophile adventures. I'm afraid that I will not be departing anytime soon, not since the theft. He says the word carefully, as if holding it at bay. I've always taken pains to see the best in people, he confides, swallowing hard. But that was before that runty, glowing, straw-haired idiot stole the coronet, my prized airship. He shakes his head, genuinely distraught. Until that thief is caught, my ship remains in dock, safely shuttered and chained. He breaks off when he sees Eridus standing near you. Him, that's the thief. Thief? I've never stolen anything in my life. I have borrowed, certainly, but always with the intention of returning the item to its proper owner, though I must admit that I haven't always been entirely successful.
Making a note.
I demand compensation. My vessel, my source of livelihood, snatched by this vagrant. He stares hard at the oblivious glaive. I require justice. I will take it in the form of service. Let's be blunt, intimidation, deception. Eridus can't be held responsible for his actions. I mean, look at him. He's an idiot. Oof. Oh, good, we made it. That was a lot of intellect, though.
Making a note.
He does so. Eridus is staring suspiciously at a passing mote of dust, as though he intends to ambush him. You have a point, Renio grunts at last. He crashed my airship minutes after we first met. Can't imagine what would happen if I employed him. He scowls at your companion. Just keep him away from me and my livelihood. I'll be resuming flights to the Valley of the Dead Heroes shortly. Good day to you. Can you tell me about this place? Steeped in history, friend, and you've come to the right man to ask about it. Ahem. He adjusts his clothes and stands taller. This was once the staging ground against our foes, the Tabat. Our ancestors could observe the approaching enemy from here and direct their forces to meet them. They say that the defense was commanded from up there. He points towards a rocky outcrop on the far side of the plateau. Now, instead of a place of war, it serves as a place of commerce, built for the good of all, both ourselves and our foreign guests. Such as Cliff sits atop a great hoard of Numenera, and does a thriving business in the stuff. We import food, spices, textiles, and visitors from far-off lands. They arrive from Agorkala, Astaria, and Haycrest, among many, many others, my friend. This is the focal point of commerce in the Sagittarius Protectorate. He smiles. I play a small but proud part. Tell me about yourself. The tiniest smile creases his face. I am the proprietor of this business, and the ship's captain. In happier times, I run a fleet of vessels to various ports of call. He shrugs. These are not happier times, and my fleet has been reduced. Now I have but a single vessel. He shrugs. Such is life. You build for your family, and the vicissitudes of fate drive your plans into the rocks. But my struggling enterprise is the least of the gifts I hope to bequeath my heirs. I try to teach them dedication, endurance, fairness, and all dealings. He shoves his hand in his pockets. What good would it do to see me take What good would it do them to see me take unfair advantage? I would rather be ruined than to teach them that falsity is the route to success. He laughs softly. My apologies. There's been much on my mind of late. You did not ask about my philosophy. Where do you go? I once flew as far as Agricola, soaring above the Arvin Wood and the unmeasured depths of Ornu Lake, above the lava fields of Osifican and the plains beyond. I flew south over the Tabat homelands and east to the oasis of Mrajolios. He gestures at his single vessel. Now I fly solely to the Valley of Dead Heroes, conveying mourners and memorialists to the unchanging tombs. Okay, bye. I probably need to go there at some point.
Let's go.
Our guy definitely crashed a ship. That is a thing that happened. We're so close to a level. Oh, somebody is up a level. Alagurn's up. Let's increase our edge for... Oh, we get to choose one, but it can't be speed. Why can't it be speed? Can be intellect or might? We're gonna go with might this time.
Ready to face the world.
Nowhere close, nowhere close, and he is very close. Oops.
Yes.
Okay. Sailors, a laborer, a merchant, some sort of weird dome. Atop a nearby plateau, you can just make out the top of a small dome of scintillating blue energy. Can I... There's something inside of it. Can I get down there? I mean, I guess it's possible.
It's a plan.
We'll look around for a way to get there. There must be a way. That being said, there are a couple people here to talk to you. There's Sylph and Tarnak Hobbs. This pretty young woman stands unnaturally still. Suddenly her large glassy eyes spring to life with a rattle and quickly lock with the oars. Just as quickly snapping away. Her skin, as fair as porcelain, is cracked beneath several layers of dirt and faded makeup. And on the side of her neck you see what appears to be a small tattoo of vertical lines with glyphs etched in their bottom. For a moment the familiarity overwhelms you, disappearing as a minute shudder runs down her arms. Her gaze snaps to your face but not to your eyes. She's staring at your tattoo jerkily, her hands raised to touch her own. Womet, I am called Sylph. You notice a slight pause before she pronounces her name. Her voice has a purring quality under which you can hear the spinning of countless gears. She coughs just once, and a small greenish cloud emerges from between her lips. How did you come by that mark? I'm going to try to remember her tattoo. You hear an echo of yourself and see in front of you a strange old man gnarled by time and rabid with expectation. On his neck and weathered and sagging, you see the same series of vertical lines etched into his skin, a faded map to a time or place that no longer exists. An inadmissible period of time has elapsed without an answer. Conclusion, I will rephrase the question, she says as the memory fades. How did you come to have those marks upon your skin? I am a cast-off of the changing god. You hear an excited clicking and her eyes flutter or close briefly. I appreciate your honesty, she says, the manic working of her gears standing from deep within her chest. She regards you, head tilting to the side with a series of small ratcheting noises. You have the absurd impression that the motion is meant to be flirtatious. I hope you'll answer another question. Her voice takes on a more elegant tone, deeper and richer than you've heard from her before. I wonder if you might have heard this old riddle. She clears her throat and begins as if reciting from memory. What comes in with breath and out with a word transmutes upon death but can't be conferred. The words sound vaguely familiar, resonating in your mind before she's even stopped speaking. I'll try and remember the riddle. You listen again to her words, feel the echo and weight of them moving in your mind. You see Sylph, garbed in the robes of an Aeon priest, her face in shadow, but when the riddle comes, it's your voice, not hers, and the rhyme is different. It arrives with first breath and leaves with each word, transfigured by death, unless it's conferred. In your mind, Sylph replies in a deeper, melodious tone, consciousness. It isn't until you surface from the memory to find Sylph staring at you that you realize you spoke the word aloud. Well, Sylph sounds pleased, still speaking in that deeper voice. Perhaps you can be of use to me after all. There is one final question I would ask you, she says, face and hands unusually still. Please answer to the best of your abilities. What would you do if you met someone who had succeeded at your life's work before you, and they refused to share their method? I would find a new life's work. There's no greater work than immortality, she scoffs, flakes of porcelain falling from her face as it takes on a more human expression. Any other goal leads to death and anonymity. She laughs at the look on your face, and it's not a pleasant sound. And to think, all these years ago, you had the audacity to call yourself a god. Look at me. Look at this. She spreads her arms and turns the circle, clearly intending you to see every angle of her body. This is the pinnacle of lost civilization, she gloats, the void between her eyes replaced with fervent, furious madness. My perfect, immortal vessel, and I'm the one who discovered it. Me. She spits bright green froth that lands in the dust at your feet. That to your help. My methods are beyond your comprehension, and I'm going to make sure they stay that way. The light fades from her eyes as soon as it arrived, or suddenly as it arrived. She blinks at you with a chittering of decaying cogs, folding her hands in front of her and executing a small bow. I don't know what transpired, she says. Please accept my apologies. Let's machinery her. Who's good at machineries? You are. Machinery. Oh, that's me. Right. You study her cracked porcelain skin, the way her joints are covered by the seams in her clothing, and what once might have been a remarkably pretty face. You recall a fragment of an ancient machine, discovered by your sire in a place called the Whale of Bays. Automatons like Sylph were created in many different shapes to please their owners, no two alike, all handcrafted and unique. Only a few survivors were known to the machine mines of Baz, and those went for sale to the highest bidder.
To learn something new.
To your sharp edge of disappointment, you recall walking away from Sylph when she was offered to you, passing a sneering man in dark robes who had already made an offer. His presence overwhelms the memory with a sudden understanding of who and what stands in front of you. Eden, an obsessive Aeon priest who made his personal mission to track the changing god to the ends of the world, searching for a way to transfer himself into vessels of his choosing. It seems that he succeeded, at least partially. But one look at Sylph's decaying body tells you that he has merely exchanged one prison for another, with no hope of salvation anytime soon. Eden, are you in there? She slowly blinks her eyes, one of them failing to open completely. I am Sylph. Have you mistaken me for somebody else? Eden, I know you're in there. Can you hear me? I am Sylph, she replies. The Aeon Priest's mind seems to have faded into the construct's subconscious. Who knows if it will emerge again? Eden? 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 Nope. No Eden. Okay, we're at 27 minutes. We're going to call the video here. In the next one, we'll continue on. Like always, if you have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. I'm going to grab a Tylenol. My head is hurting. I'll be right back. And we will continue recording. See you guys in a second.